starting with a new series on digital marketing. Now students, you know that marketing has undergone different stages. There have been different eras of marketing, starting from a very basic era where trade used to happen between handmade products. There was limited supply. So from barter system we moved on to the trade era where money was given for goods and services. Then came the production era in which there was a mass production of goods and services, and because of the fact that the goods and services were produced on a mass scale, the per unit cost of production used to be lower, and therefore the products were more cheaper and were more affordable for the market. After the production era came the product era, where the focus shifted from only production to the performance of the product, its functionality, its innovative features, quality, and then went ahead to the sales era, where most of the times aggressive selling and promotional activities were undertaken to sell whatever was produced. After the sales era came the marketing era, which focused on the marketing mix. The identification of the needs of the consumers were given importance, and a customer centric approach became the focal point of all the marketing activities. Now we find that after that there was more and more investment in relationship building and service performance. So service marketing came into being, and the marketeers were more interested in building a one-to-one relationship with the consumers. So the entire activity was done with a long-term orientation in mind. And now we are dealing with a digital era. This is a era of social media. This is a era of mobile phones. The focus is on real-time, social exchange based marketing, where communication and social interaction plays a pivotal role. Now let us go back and understand how this digital marketing and how this focus on digital marketing evolved. Let us start with the World Wide Web. I am sure you must have heard a lot about, and you also use World Wide Web. The web was invented by Tim Berners-Lee at CERN in 1989, and it went public for the very first time in 1991. The evolution of www as we popularly know it, it brought with it the development of Hypertext Transfer Protocol, HTTP, which is the foundation of data communication for the World Wide Web. Now, all the websites together constitute what we know and what we call as World Wide Web. Websites contain various web pages which are typical documents in plain text with specified formatting instructions of hypertext markup language known as HTML. Now, this World Wide Web basically led to an explosion of information share. We already know that there was a dot-com era. It was a dot-com bubble of late 1990s, which led to a massive growth in internet adoption. Investors actually pumped money into internet-based companies. If we look at the current data, students, we find that in 2023, there were around 5.4 billion internet users worldwide, and this for the last year, that is 2024, has further increased, so much so that there is around 70% of the world's population that is currently internet user base. With respect to India, we can say that the users have crossed 800 million mark. And if we again see in 2024, the user base, the internet subscriber base has touched around 936 million internet subscribers. Rural India in comparison to urban India has more internet users, and therefore we can say that roughly if we take stock of all the reports which are available, around 90% of the internet users use internet heavily at least once on a daily basis. Now, with this tremendous growth in internet, modern marketers to realize that they need to switch from the physical presence to a web presence, and therefore they started using and are now very increasingly using web pages to build their virtual information centers, so that they can portray their products and brands primarily for information dissemination, and also because they want to enjoy the first mover advantage in terms of adopting the technology as a part of their broad marketing activities. Now, let us see what has happened in the post-dot-com era, how it has led to the creation of internet business models. Now, students, it is important to trace the way in which this web has transformed over the years and has actually impacted our internet commerce activities. We normally come across three such stages of internet evolution: Web 1.0, Web 2.0 and Web 3.0. Now, we also need to understand that the shift from Web 1.0 to 2.0 and then from 2.0 to 3.0 has had a major impact on how marketing has evolved over the years and how it is continuously using the internet to shape itself and better serve the consumers. Now, Web 1.0, let us understand that all these 1.0, 2.0 and Web 3.0, they have their own set of characteristics, their own set of features which set them apart from each other, but collectively they constitute the World Wide Web on the internet. Now, in Web 1.0, which is also popularly known as read-only web, the websites are largely static in nature, right, which means that they are written in a basic HTML language and they offer basic HTML pages also with a very limited exposure to multimedia content. Now, during this era of Web 1.0, users actually had very limited options to engage with websites. The websites were designed, but they were predominantly made and created for passive consumption, not for active consumption. And website content creation was primarily the domain of a group of individuals or some organizations who used to write content for various websites. When you talk about Web 1.0, we also see that 1.0 basically offered just one-way communication, not even two-way. It was primarily one-way communication where the information was being given from the website owners or from the side of website owners to the users. The social media platform, as you see today, they were not a predominant part of the Web 1.0 phase. There were slower internet speeds and many users used to access the web through the dial-up connections. And because of the dial-up connections, the websites usually, were slower and they also lacked personalized content or personalized experiences. Then, when there was a shift towards Web 2.0, we found that this Web 2.0, which is now commonly referred to as read-write web. So, earlier was only read-only and now we have read-write web. This marked a significant shift in the way people interacted with the internet. So, this era or this phase Web 2.0 also introduced user-generated content where users used to go on the website, they used to write their reviews and their own things about their comments, their experiences, and social media slowly and gradually increased the interactivity which was lacking primarily in Web 1.0. In this phase, we also find that websites started to offer personalized experiences and utilize some of the finer algorithms and data analytics techniques. So, these data analytics used to capture the data of the personal users, the personal data of the user, and therefore used to provide them with a more personalized experience. The advent of smartphones and mobile apps and various kind of web-based applications, they in a way started playing a role in Web 2.0. When there was a transition from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0, we find that there is now a lot of change. Web 3.0, which is termed as semantic web or intelligent web, because this has gone beyond the capabilities of Web 1.0 and 1. Your 2.0. Now, this intelligent web, it places a strong emphasis on delivering highly personalized and context aware experiences. Usually, you would find that some of the concepts related to Internet of Things, or the way you interconnect the devices, the way you exchange the data, the way there are sensor based communications, all this actually became possible in Web 3.0 or through Web 3.0. So, Web 3.0 actually explores the use and integration of technologies like augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain, chatbots that act as artificial conversational agents and provide personalized recommendations, assistance and support. All this actually increased the interaction that used to happen between the marketeers and the users. Now, how we have progressed from traditional marketing to e-marketing and then e-marketing to digital marketing. Now, when you talk about traditional marketing, it involved all those activities or all those institutions which were involved in the process of creating and communicating, delivering, exchanging value based offerings to customers who can be the end user or the client or the partner or maybe society at large. This is what has also been given as per the definition of American Marketing Association. This is what one can understand about the traditional marketing. The focus of e-marketing now is to facilitate this transition which used to happen in the traditional marketing also. But the transition of physical marketing and sales based activities has been made towards a more automated and technology supported system. So, the entire product discovery process, the search process, the information process has now been supported by a technology platform or a technological system. So, broadly one can say that online marketing or internet marketing, as it is more popularly known as, it represents the activities which are aimed at transitioning all marketing activities to web and online platforms which move along with the web. Most primarily what you see in terms of your web portals, emails and blogs. Now, students, we know that digital is the wave, and for some of the marketeers would be the next wave of marketing very soon. So, digital marketing, if we explain it on the lines of the value chain, we would find that it includes the consumer on one hand and data-based technology implementations on the other hand, which aim at introducing and integrating newer technologies for a more data-oriented, highly targeted marketing activity. Now, when you do this, that is when you are making use of technology in order to connect with the consumers and you integrate it together, you fuse together technology with how you deal with the consumers and how you undertake your marketing activities, you end up doing a lot more which was not possible with the traditional marketing, like for example personalization, which is now possible for every consumer, which was not available back in the time of traditional marketing. Now, when we talk about digital transformation, we find that there have been 2-3 enablers, 2 or 3 constituent elements which have actually made this digital transformation possible. One, automation. So, we know that all kinds of functions have now being automated. Now they are more faster, they are cheaper ways of performing key business activities. The second key element has been digitalization itself, which involves conversion of your physical assets and physical processes, and you have now poured them on digital platforms so that they can be utilized by stakeholders and they can be delivered to customers more easily through the digital platforms. And the third main constituent element, students, of digital transformation has been collaboration, which means that you are integrating, you are sharing knowledge through a set of tools and practices, and you are providing consumers with a multi-channel digital experience, a wholesome, seamlessly integrated consumer experience. Which brings us to the main topic of this paper, this series on digital marketing, which is what actually is digital marketing. So, we have tracked the entire chain of events from how marketing has moved across different eras, how from traditional marketing we moved on to e-marketing, and now we are faced with digital marketing, which actually includes management and execution of marketing. So, it is the same thing, but where is the difference? We are now using electronic media such as web or email or interactive TV or wireless media, along with, that is in conjunction with, digital data about customer characteristics and behavior. This, students, is how one can understand and define digital marketing according to the Institute of Direct and Digital Marketing. Basically, one can say that in nutshell, in sum, digital marketing is nothing but the use of internet and other digital technologies to market the products and services. So, it is basically marketing plus the technology which enables you to do much more than what you were capable of doing earlier when digital platforms were or internet platforms were not available to you. Now, when you talk about features from all this discussion, what can be some of the features that emerge and can actually help us in differentiating digital marketing from the traditional marketing? One is the kind of customer interaction. As I said that in case of traditional marketing, there was actually no interaction. Even web 1.0 in its initial phase had only one way communication. There was no dialogue, there was no exchange of information as such. It was only one way, flowing from one side to the other side, from the marketeer side to the user side. But now if you look at the digital marketing landscape, you would find that there is an instant customer interaction. And that interaction is not only happening, but that interaction is taking place real time. It is too much, tightly integrated. It flows seamlessly. And because of this reason, you can really target your audience. Your audience tracking is really very focused, unlike the segmentation and targeting that used to happen in case of the traditional marketing. Now you track your audience and you target your audience in a much more focused manner. And then you make use of technology and you make use of the data analytics to know more about that particular audience so that you can serve them better. There is a multi-channel reach. So, we say it is basically more audience focused and it is more channel centered. So, the channel is basically the online channel, the digital channel or the digital platform, and number of digital platforms which are available, which are seamlessly integrated. So is your distribution, so is your your presence, your communication, everything has actually been integrated in a very fine-tuned manner. So much so that you actually find that digital marketing is able to give you a quicker funnel fulfillment. Now, students, what is a funnel? When you talk about marketing funnel, you start from awareness to interest to desire to action, right? So, this is simple hierarchy of effects which takes place. Now, in case of digital marketing, the awareness is very quick, the interest and desire is very quick to culminate, and there is also a quick action. So, we say that the funnel moves very fast, or there is a quicker funnel fulfillment in case of digital marketing. No doubt that because of the cost factor, it is something that can give you the maximum advantage by incurring the cost which is way less in comparison to the cost which marketeers used to incur in the traditional marketing phase. There is an actionable tracking. You see, this is more, your performance can be tracked, and not only the performance can be tracked, but the performance can also be optimized. There are quantitative measurements, that is metrics, which are available, not only quantitative but also the qualitative feedback which is available through consumer reviews, their ratings, their likes, posts, shares, and then there are quantitative matrix where you can quantitatively know how many people are liking your post, how many people are responding, how many people are placing an order, so all this is practically possible, and you can also take steps to optimize the results that you want at the end of the day. As I said earlier, the whole process actually becomes more personalized in nature, and that is the reason that you find that there is location based messages which are being sent to you. If you are searching something, they are going to show you the related searches. There is everything that is now being customized and personalized to suit the buyer's profile or buyer's persona. So, the impact altogether tends to be much more and more impactful and effective in comparison to what the marketeers used to have and used to gain from their traditional marketing efforts. Now, other than this basic evolution, or what we say the shift in terms of transition which happened from web 1.0 to web 3.0, or the internet penetration, or the fact that now the consumers are having mobile phones and you are dealing with a consumer who is nowadays tech savvy. But there have also been certain factors, students, at the end of the overall landscape, the macro landscape, which has facilitated this shift, or which actually contributes to this kind of a shift which has happened over the years from traditional marketing to digital marketing. Or one can say that if there has been no shift, then probably you are supplementing your marketing efforts, your traditional marketing efforts, with the digital efforts also. So, we will look at some of these factors in the next session, and we will also look at how the marketing activities and how some of the aspects have changed, especially when you undertake those activities in the context of digital landscape. I am sure this lecture has given you a basic understanding of the concept of digital marketing. Thank you. Revise your concept. We will meet again soon.